All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Damsels in Debate podcast. I'm your host, Tina.
And I'm your co-host, Vanessa.
Yay.
Yay. There you go again.
Keeping with tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I've got a bunch of movies to talk about this week. You too?
Yeah.
All right, so let's just get right into it then.
All right.
So this movie, The Conjuring, we both saw that on Saturday last week, so we didn't...
Separately, but yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't have... time. We had recorded the podcast before seeing the movie, so that's why it wasn't in last week's podcast. So we're going to talk about it this week. So, Vanessa, what was your general opinion on this movie?
My general opinion is that I had some parts where I jumped and I was a little scared, but I just have this, I was left with this feeling that it could have been a lot scarier with the elements it introduced, like all the different themes they had, you know, with the exorcisms and hauntings and witches and demons. Like, I think it could have been a lot scarier. So
yes,
I was left with it being, it was a good movie, but I wasn't as scared as I really wanted to be.
I think, like, everybody that goes to see this movie, some kind of weird, like, mind meld falls on them when they watch it, and they come out thinking it's the scariest movie they've ever seen, and for whatever reason, you, me, and, like, a handful of other people didn't get the mind meld, because I feel the same exact way. It was a good movie. Like, it was acted well, and there was a lot of suspense and stuff, and the scenery was good. But I was not scared of this movie, like, at all. The times that I jumped, it was just jump scares, like, because somebody slammed a door.
Right,
or
the loud
something.
noise scare.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. There wasn't something, like, sitting in the hallway that scared the crap out of me or anything like that.
That's what I don't like is when, like, you know, when she had the toy and she was looking in the mirror, so you know something scary is going to happen, like that. So I start to cover my eyes, like, okay, something's going to happen. I'd rather have something that is unexpected, like an unexpected scare.
Right,
like walking down the
exactly.
stairs and all of a sudden, bam, it's there.
Yeah, I was really, and, you know, I try not to get super psyched about movies because you never know. And, but this one, I must admit, I was a little excited about it because the guy who directed it, wrote and directed this one, or I think he wrote it, I don't remember, but anyway, the guy who directed this one, James Wan, is the same guy who did the first Saw, and more importantly, did Insidious, which I cannot say enough good things about that movie. I love that movie so much. It scared the crap out of me.
Me too.
Yeah, and I like all the lead actors in the movie too. I think they all do a very good job in most things I see them in. So, and then I was really trying not to buy into the hype, but like on Twitter, and I mean, I guess my view was a little bit slanted anyway because I follow both the director and the lead actor on Twitter. So they're going to retweet, you know, good stuff, obviously.
Right.
But no, I mean, even just from like regular film critics and film bloggers and that kind of stuff, everybody was saying this movie is so scary. I screamed in the theater, or somebody had to walk out at my screening. And like reviews, I mean, I don't read reviews till after I see a movie, but I always skim them just to get a general idea, just because it's interesting. Everybody was saying the same thing. And, you know, like critics are usually they're pretty hard with horror movies.
Very critical.
Yeah, they're very critical. Or they treat a lot of horror movies as throwaway movies, and they don't really, you know, like they're not horror fans. And to me, I don't think you can really, like, you can review a movie, but I'm not going to really take your opinion seriously if you're not a fan of that genre.
Right.
So I think that happens a lot with horror movies. So even more so, you know, when I've seen all these positive things, I'm like, oh man, this is so awesome. I'm going to get so scared. Because I mean, like, I'm a real big horror fan, but I actually like getting scared. Like, I'm not like one of the horror fans that are like, oh, whatever, that was totally not scary, blah, blah, blah. Like that kind of thing. Like, I love getting scared. If a movie scares me, it's awesome. I love it.
I like getting scared, like ghost movies and like, you know, alien movies and stuff like that. That stuff I like getting scared at, but it's just the slasher movies. I know I like beating a dead horse, but yeah, those don't really scare me. They just gross me out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody, they're like a subgenre or whatever of horror, but I don't think anybody actually gets scared at those. But yeah, there's like suspenseful, creepy stuff really scares me.
Yeah.
And I was really, really excited to see it because I really wanted to get scared. And I didn't have to sleep with the lights on that night. I was kind of bummed that I could just go to sleep and I was totally fine. Didn't think about the movie at all, like when I had to get up and go to the bathroom.
I was kind of amused at the beginning because it was a little predictable, like, with the dog being killed and stuff. But when the little girl found the toy, I was like, oh, this reminds me of Cabin in the Woods. Like, okay, which horror film are we going to pick? And she found, like, the toy. And I was like, oh, come on. It's getting a little predictable here.
Yeah, and I'm kind of over the whole possession thing. And then let's just say some words in Latin and, and there we go, all done.
That's one, that scene actually, it bothered me a little bit, when he performs the exorcism on her, because they covered her with a sheet. And I was debating, like, okay, is it interesting and unique that they had her covered so you couldn't see her face, or was it just like a cover so that they wouldn't have to do all these effects?
Yeah, true. I get what you're saying.
And I think I prefer, because I actually really like the Exorcism of Emily Rose, and there's the scene there. I mean, it has some boring parts, but there's a scene where he's performing the exorcism and they're in the barn, and she, like, she finally says the demon's names, and it says, and I am Lucifer, the devil in the flesh, and she just has this, like, they put this glow in her eyes, and it's creepy.
Oh, okay.
So I prefer that over, like, the sheet covering it. I was like,
Yeah, I felt like this whole movie was just one big giant tease. Like, it was great. They did a great job at building suspense and, mood music and atmosphere and everything. And you're, oh my God, all tense. And then, no payoff.
Yeah.
That's how I felt pretty much the entire movie. It's just, I was getting all ready, and then nothing.
And I kept, covering my eyes, knowing something's going to happen. Just like I'd seen in the previews, how something comes behind her shoulder when she's in the on the basement steps. So when that scene was going, like, okay, yeah, something's going to happen. So I didn't even watch because I knew it was going to happen.
Right. Yeah, you knew it was coming. Exactly. Did you ever see a movie called The Others? I think Nicole Kidman was in it.
I've seen parts of it. I haven't, but I know, like, the ending. So I know, like, oh, it's that big plot twist at the end. But I haven't.
That's right. Yeah. I haven't seen that in a really long time, and I think if I remember correctly, I called it like partway through the movie. So it kind of reminded me of this, where it's like, oh, it's so scary, but then you're watching it and you're just sitting there like, so when am I going to get scared?
Raina was watching the other night. She was watching What Lies Beneath. And I remember I got scared at that movie. So I still love that movie.
I love that movie. I remember I went to see that with my best friend in high school, and we thought it was just going to be like a drama with like maybe a little supernatural element thrown in there. But oh man, that movie was so suspenseful and just
and they had a nice twist.
Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah, I need to borrow that because I haven't seen it in a long time.
You can borrow it.
I cannot figure out why The Conjuring was rated R. Can you?
No, I don't remember any curse words standing out. I don't, like, there wasn't very much blood and, like, gore and stuff.
Right.
So I mean, other than, like, they showed the lady hanging from the noose, so maybe that's, like,
but
harsh
even that,
for kids,
weren't those, like, kind of, like, far back shots?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't anything
like, you saw her
close.
feet in one close angle, then far away, they showed the whole thing.
Right.
Other than, like, maybe, like, inducing terror or something,
But, see, the thing that gets me is, like, okay, that was another reason why I was souped for it. I'm like, oh, it's rated R, and I know that there's no, like, sex or super gore in it, so I'm like, oh, it's gonna be awesome.
And I posted how they had to ID me to go in. I had to be 21 or older. I was like,
yeah,
what?
You had to. Well, I asked because I got questioned the same way, and it's you can't be 17 years old and buy another ticket for somebody who's 17 or under. Like, if you want to buy a ticket for somebody that's younger, you have to be over. Was it 21?
They told me 21. I thought it was 18 before, but they told me 21.
Right. That's because I asked her, I'm like, why are you guys asking about being over 21 for an R-rated movie? I was like, did the rules change? And she said no. She explained, so it's for buying ticket purposes. Which even still, I don't totally get
that's the thing. I was buying for Rob, and he's older than me, and he looks older than me. So I'm like,
I don't know if it's just because she asked me that too, and I wasn't even buying another ticket. I was just buying one ticket.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know, but that's the reason why they asked. But yeah, like Insidious was rated PG-13.
Yeah, so that movie scared me.
Yeah, there was a lot more frightening imagery. Like, this movie was more suspense, and not that Insidious wasn't suspenseful, but like it was more. You didn't actually see what was going on, whereas in Insidious you did. So if it's for scary thematic elements, why didn't Insidious get rated R?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't figure that. I can't get a straight answer for that at all. Excuse me, but I I was actually more interested in the doll, Annabelle.
Yeah.
You know, she was super creepy looking.
Yes.
I mean, I read in, I think, Entertainment Weekly that doll is actually, it's like a Raggedy Ann doll. It's not one of those weird porcelain looking dolls. But even still, the doll in the movie was scary or creepy, I thought. And then the idea of what the doll supposedly did was super creepy. So I was like, oh, let's go back to the doll.
I did, though. It's just funny. I kind of chuckled a little bit when the little girl was scared and she looked over and there was a mom like rocking the doll and the doll slowly turns his head. I was just kind of laughing. The doll's like, like, because you know that's going to happen. Like, okay, the doll's going to turn his head. You know, look at her.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I guess it's because I've seen it before. This stuff used to scare me. Now, like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen. Okay, so Whereas Insidious, it was something different with the whole like traveling out of your body and the spirit can take over your body.
Yeah,
it's a different type of possession. So that was freaky, and then being lost.
Yeah, that, and then just, oh my God, like the part where the mom, Rose Byrne, goes out to throw out the trash, and then she looks in the house because like the record stops playing, and there's that creepy ass kid just dancing, and it's like, where did he come from?
Yeah.
And then in that same, right before that shot, she's walking through the house and she walks through the laundry room and the kid is standing there, I think either facing the door or facing the wall or something. But the kid's there and, you know, everybody sees it and nobody, like she obviously doesn't see it. But it's like, oh, it's right there. Oh my God. Like I can't take it. Oh, but yeah. So I don't think this movie was half as scary as Insidious. It wasn't, like you said, it wasn't a bad movie.
Right.
But it's just, it was a big letdown because everybody...
all the build-up, yeah.
Yeah. And the whole movie, too, itself just felt like big build-up for nothing.
It just makes me wonder if I would have liked it more if I hadn't read, scariest movie of the year and blah, blah, blah. Like,
yeah. And, I mean, like I said, I'm a big horror fan. I love getting scared. It's not that I'm some jaded person. It's not because I'm not religious. Like, it's just... No.
Yeah.
Okay, so you saying that actually brings me to my next point. My best friend, I was talking to her about the movie because she actually texted me on Friday and said that it was scarier than Insidious, and she had to close her eyes a couple times, and everybody she went with said the same thing. That like flipped me over the edge. Like I couldn't wait to see the movie after I got that text. And then, you know, of course, I saw the movie and I'm like, what the hell were you thinking? But so we were discussing like random parts of the movie. And I guess she had seen a trailer at some point, but just didn't remember it, which I think is like how most people are with trailers. But like she didn't know that the part where Lily Taylor, you know, is in the basement and the clapping hands are next to her head.
Yeah.
Like she didn't know that part was coming.
So yeah, that's what I was saying. I knew that part was coming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the part where I forget her name, but where she's folding the laundry and then the wind knocks the sheet over and then you see the silhouette.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't know that part was coming either. And there were one or two other things she didn't know that were coming. And I'm like, what? They're all over the commercials. Like, how did you not know that? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I didn't remember that. So, and there's like I said, there's other people I've talked to who just don't remember stuff from trailers. And it's not like I'm sitting and like studying trailers and writing down notes or anything, but I mean, I remember stuff because it's like, oh yeah, that part looks good, you know, like that kind of thing. So I'm making a new rule for myself. This is going to be really hard to follow through with, so I'm going to need your help. But I'm not going to watch any more movie trailers. I made this proclamation last week after The Conjuring ended, actually, because I was like, I've had it. That's it. It's like, this sucks. Because, like I said, I knew everything, all the like super scary parts, because I figured they had those scary parts in the trailer, but like a normal movie, they would have other big reveals during the movie that you know they wouldn't put in the trailer. But that was kind of not the case at all. Yeah. So. And it's funny, I made this proclamation last weekend, which was Comic-Con weekend. So, you know, they were releasing stuff. And, of course, the big thing for me was the Catching Fire trailer. But I was like, well, I'm going to make an exception for that because I've already read the book, so I know what's coming. No, I mean, that makes sense, though.
Like, they're not giving anything away because they're going to be following the books.
Right, exactly. I know the story and stuff. So, you know, with the exception of that. And, like, maybe when they start having, like, teaser trailers, like, for the next Avengers movie or the next Captain America movie, those I'll watch. But regular full-blown 2.5-minute long trailers, I'm not watching them anymore. And it's kind of annoying because there's this new Keanu Reeves movie coming out, I think at the end of the year, and that trailer just debuted this week. And I'm kind of want to see it, but now I can't because of what I said.
Well, how about I watch it and I'll tell you yay or nay. Like,
oh yeah, I'm going to be asking everybody like, what'd you think of this trailer? What'd you think of this trailer? Don't tell me parts, but what'd you think of this trailer? Does it look good? Would you want to go see it? But yeah, this movie actually just got me more excited, which again is bad, but it got me more excited for Insidious 2 because that comes out in the middle of September. Because again, it's Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne is awesome, and it's James Wan, and I know he didn't write the first Insidious, but he directed it, but he wrote this next one and directed it, and he did. It was funny. I skimmed through his IMDb list because I couldn't remember the other movies that he directed. And isn't it you that hates that movie Death Sentence?
Yes.
Yeah, he directed that too.
That actually, I mean, I don't want to give it away, but it's actually one of my lists for our top 5 worst movies. I hate that movie. And it was funny because I asked my sister last night, like, hey, so we're doing our top 5 worst movies, and she's like, Death Sentence, because she knows how much I hate it.
Yeah, so that's no spoiler there. That's definitely going to be on there. But he did the first Saw, which the first one I like, and
I'd never seen any of those movies. I saw the previews and like that does not look like something I'm gonna like seeing.
I was gonna say I wouldn't say you'd have to go see it. Like I enjoy them for what they are, and I thought that they like the first couple were creative. I thought and different and stuff. Towards the end, they kind of got like I saw all of them, and I don't remember a whole like they all kind of just one big movie to me.
According to you, I like movies with butterflies and rainbows, so
yeah, definitely. And if it's animated, it makes it even better. But you know what else that is interesting, I think, is this guy. He kind of, I mean, he's known for doing all these like scary movies. He also did Dead Silence, the one with the dolls. Do you remember that movie? Mm-mm. Oh, I did see it once, and I remember liking it. It wasn't like groundbreaking or anything, but I thought it was pretty good. But anyway, so yeah, he's like a horror guy, or he's known for horror stuff. But he is actually the new director for the Fast and the Furious movie. Oh. So I'm interested to see how he's going to do with that. Yeah. I'll probably watch the teaser trailer for that movie too. Now thinking about it.
Yeah, okay, Tina, like good plot there.
No, but I mean, and it actually happened because when I went to see the Wolverine, they had a commercial they had one trailer for the next Percy Jackson movie. Which I don't really plan on seeing that anyway. But even still, I had to like keep looking at the ceiling and like look down and stuff. I was like, this is gonna be hard.
I saw that first movie with the
Olympians or whatever.
And I remember, like, I didn't think it was a bad movie. Like, I thought it was pretty good. So
I remember thinking it was okay.
It came out a while ago, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm surprised they're making a sequel. Yeah. But it's a book series, I think, too, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's my new proclamation. We'll see how it goes. But I mean, it'll be awesome to see movies and not see any scenes. That'll be cool. And I've only seen one trailer for Insidious 2, so that's good. I don't really remember a whole lot from it. So it's going to be awesome for a scary movie to not know what's coming.
No, what else is good is that sometimes they show snes in a preview that are not in the movie at all.
Yes.
You're like, where did this scene go?
I'm waiting for the crying scene. Yeah, exactly. So that's our review on The Conjuring. It seems to be the minority review because everybody loves this movie. And, like we said, we didn't hate it, but it just wasn't anywhere near the hype around it. So moving on. Let's see. We both saw the To-Do List Monday, I think.
Totally opposite movie.
Yeah, totally different. This is a raunchy comedy set in the early 90s. I think 1993 is when it's set.
Yeah.
I love the opening credits for the movie. I thought that was cute.
I remember turning to you saying, like, oh, that's really cute. They had the caboodle and then all this stuff. And
the VHS tapes and stuff. Yeah, it was cute. But, all right, well, anyway, let's get into our review here. What did you think of this movie?
I thought it was a good comedy, just something that you can just laugh at. I mean, it was raunchy and stuff, but a lot of it, and I think it was geared more towards, I think girls can relate a lot to it. Like, the girls, like, going through all their first times with doing all these things.
Right,
It's just, I laugh quite a lot. I recall, like, laughing out loud. So I thought I put down good comedy for us 90s kids because there's a lot of references to like I was like, what should I get her? Like, get her a scrunchie. I'm like, and their kids nowadays know what a scrunchie is.
Yeah, and their outfits, especially the boys, like their hairdos and the shirts they were wearing and stuff. I really like that, and it was right before the internet and stuff like that, so it was still. Because like this movie set nowadays with social media and stuff, it wouldn't. I mean, it would be the same, the same concept or whatever. But it just, I like that they said it in the 90s.
Well, and it made sense, too, because she has that one scene where she's trying to look up in the dictionary like what these things are, whereas nowadays she could just go on Google and they would have images and everything.
Yeah,
so
Urban Dictionary has all that stuff.
So it would kind of ruin the, because I remember asking, like, why did it take place in the 90s? Like, oh, the social media. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, social media, like this type of movie, and then also I think horror movies need to always be set in like 1994 or earlier, because cell phones kill like all scary movies.
I remember like the scene that I laughed at a lot was when she first saw the guy that she liked and he was singing "Poured Some Sugar on Me."
Yeah.
Like, oh,
his name was
song.
Rusty Waters. That name cracked me up. Yeah, I thought this movie was pretty funny. There weren't any scenes where I was like crying. I was laughing so hard, but I consistently laugh from beginning to end. Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was very funny. I liked it. I probably wouldn't go to the movies to see it just because it's a comedy. I usually don't have to go to the movies to go see comedies, but since it was a free screening, I went. I'm glad that I was able to see it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I probably would have just waited and then rented it from Redbox or something like that. But yeah, I liked it. Aubrey Plaza, the main lead character. I love her deadpan humor. I think that's really funny. She's on a TV show I watch called Parks and Recreation, and some of her lines on there are hysterical because she's got those eyes and she just it's really funny. Yeah. But I do think that any scenes where she has to show a lot of emotion, like the scene where she cried or where she got really mad, those I think are a little lacking just because she always comes off as like just real deadpan. So it always seems like she's on, like she's not like being real or whatever. I mean, it didn't really detract from the movie because it's a comedy and stuff like that. But that's just one thing I've noticed with her and all the roles she's been in. She's fine as a comedic actress, but just whenever she has to show any kind of emotion, it kind of kills it.
Now that I think about it, like I remember seeing like, oh, what's the matter with you guys? Like when she was mad, it reminds me of like on Napoleon Dynamite. It's like whatever I feel like, gosh, it's just like a sarcastic mad. Like it didn't seem like she really was mad.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I do like also that this was written and directed by a woman, just because yay for females in movie making.
Yeah,
and she's her name is Maggie Carey. Yeah, I can't read my own handwriting. Maggie Carey, I think, is her name. And she is also, I read this on IMDb, she is also the wife of Bill Hader. Do you know who he is?
The name sounds familiar. But...
He was the guy who lived at the pool place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's cute.
You can hook me up with a role, honey.
Yeah. I mean, like normally that kind of stuff aggravates me, but I think he's very funny. So, and he was fine in this role. He wasn't annoying or anything. So.
I tell you what, this movie, like, I related to it a lot just because she was, like, the overachiever in high school, and then she had the sister who was a little more knowledgeable of things. Not that, like, my sister is that bad as her sister was, but I was like, man, that's me and my sister all the way. She's like, your sister, like, give me a ride home. Yeah, that's, like, me and her.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate to her, too, a bit. I liked her friends in there, too. I thought they were pretty realistic and stuff. And
I think it was funny when they were singing "The Wind Beneath My Wings," and there was a guy in the theater said, "Everybody," because they sang like the whole song.
Yeah, they did. They sang like the whole song. That scene went on a little long.
I've never actually seen that movie Beaches that they're watching there. My mom says that she cries every time at it.
That's what everybody says. I've only seen like the first like 20 minutes or something. And I can guess what happens in the movie, but yeah, I've never seen the whole thing either. I think
cancer is involved. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a death involved too, if I'm not mistaken. We should probably see that since I'll put that on our list at some point.
I liked Clark Gregg's character, like basically Agent Phil Coulson.
Right,
as the overprotective dad, because I was like, hey, that's the guy from Avengers.
Right, exactly. And I like Connie Britton, too, as the mom, because she was because I think a lot of times in movies, I think it's overplayed where you have the parent that's, like, very open and liberal, but they're, like, ridiculously awkward, like, where they keep grilling their kid about sex stuff, or they keep talking about their sexual encounters, to their child. Whereas this movie, she was a little bit like that, but it wasn't so over the top, I thought. So that was a nice little change, because that does get annoying. And it's in a lot of movies now. Crap, I was going to say something else about the mom, and now I forgot. Oh, one thing I thought was a little off, though, because her dad was, super protective and stuff. I found it really weird that they would let that kid, Cameron, come over and then wait in her bedroom with the door closed. That was a little, like, they just had to have him find the list is what it is. So that,
I guess they trusted him. Yeah, I thought that was weird, too.
Yeah, because I know my parents wouldn't let anybody do that when I was in high school.
Go home.
Yeah, you can go wait at your house. Yeah. But yeah, I like this movie. I also like how at the very end, it didn't have the super cliche ending. Like her and the guy or the kid did get together, but I mean, they were just having sex. It wasn't like, yeah, exactly. So that was a nice little spin, I guess, on the cliched ending. And yeah, it was pretty consistently funny. I enjoyed it. I thought the one part that like really didn't work for me was the when one of the kids pooped in the pool, you know.
Oh yeah, that was awful.
It was gross, but it felt forced because she was just like, no, that wouldn't get to you as soon as you pick that up, you know, or anything. It was just really gross.
To smell it. That's the thing.
Exactly. As soon as it got like close to your face like that, no, so I thought that was a little forced. But everything else was pretty funny, I think. So yeah, I like that movie. It was cute.
Recommend it.
So the other big release this week, which I was able to go see, was the Wolverine, which everybody knows. That needs no introduction. So anyway, I mean, we've been talking about the movie a little bit on different podcasts, and so everybody knows my feelings on it. And the movie was exactly what I thought it was going to be. There were some cool fight scenes. And Hugh Jackman as Wolverine or Logan, whatever, is awesome. I think he's great. Yeah. So that's never been an issue. But I was just like, I don't care about anything that's going on in this movie. And there were some parts, like the whole, like, I guess you could say third act of the movie, like the ending and stuff. I was sitting there, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure, like, I didn't miss anything. It just doesn't make sense. Like, the I guess there's like 2 bad guys or 3 bad guys, and I didn't understand their motivations like really at all. Like it just, because like you've got this old guy who Wolverine saves back in World War II or whatever, and later on, you know, now he's a real old man. He's on his deathbed, and he has Wolverine flown out to Japan to come talk to him. And he's like, oh, well, I can give you what you really want. I can make you mortal, and, you know, then you'll die, which is what you want. And then, you know, I'll be able to keep going and stuff. And then I think he's, like, sleeping or something at one point, and this other woman, this other villain, gives him this bug. And anyway, it makes him so that he's starting where he can't heal as fast. But, like, I don't know. Like, it did not... The whole plot seems really convoluted. Like the old guy, he does like all these things, you know, like, oh, well, I'll stage this happening so that this will happen. And then Wolverine will think this, so then he'll come do that. And you're like, well, wait. I feel like there's a way easier way to get all this stuff done. And also, I don't know. Again, I don't know because of comics and all that stuff. But there's this big like robot called the Silver Samurai at the end of the movie. Now, I don't know if in the comics he's actually like a robot, or if that was like a person at some point, or if there's somebody in the actual suit. I don't know. But in the movie, at the very end, because the Silver Samurai is only in there for like the last like 10 minutes or something. But at the very end, the helmet comes off, and it's actually the old guy is in the suit. And I'm like, well, how is he staying alive? Because he's like super old, and he's really frail. Yeah. And yeah, like I didn't like that whole part seemed really whacked out. Like I did not understand that at all.
Maybe the suit keeps him alive. I don't know.
But like, the suit it's made out of adamantium, which is, you know, what he's got in his body, but that doesn't have regenerative powers. It's just adamantium. So I don't know. Like the whole part. Like once that happened, I was like, oh, I don't know here, guys. You're kind of losing me. And also, there's like he's going to save the one woman, and she's up in this tower. So he's running through the town. He's got all these like dozens of ninjas following after him. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a cool fight scene. But they all just start shooting arrows in his back. And at this point, he can heal, so he's fine. But he gets so many arrows shot into his back, and then I think he gets one arrow that has some kind of poison in it. So it slows him down enough he falls over, and they're able to capture him. But he's running, and he's got his his claws out. I'm like, why doesn't he just spin around and go whoosh and cut off all these strings that are attached? Like that didn't make any sense. It was like, oh, we just need him to get captured. So there was a lot of stuff like that just didn't fit with the story. And I don't want to like nitpick a whole lot.
Yeah, you like to pick nits.
But like stuff like that, like come on, that really didn't make any sense at all. And then there was this one woman in the movie, because I mean it's you got, you know, Wolverine who has the regenerative powers and the adamantium and stuff, and then there's the his kind of like his like sidekick in the movie, Yu-Gi-Oh, Robin. I think her name was,
Robin.
Yeah. And she has like kind of telepathic, or not telepathic powers, but she can like see the future a little bit. Like she sees when people die. And then you've got, I mean, like that's pretty much it for the mutants, except for this woman. I guess she's called Viper. I don't know what her other name is, but anyway, she's in there. I've never heard of her before, but she's a bad guy. She helps the old guy stay alive, and then she also helps Wolverine lose his regenerative powers. I feel like she was super unneeded, and like she really didn't fit with the rest of the movie. She looked like Poison Ivy Jr. One, because the actress like actually looks a lot like Uma Thurman. Like she's got the same kind of hair. She's very pretty. She's got the angular face and stuff. And at the end of the movie, she's walking around in her, you know, costume, and it really looks like Poison Ivy's costume. It's like this green thing, sleeveless. I don't know what was going on.
Red hair or what?
No, she had blonde hair, but I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. I feel like they were like, we need a badass bad villain that's a mutant, and we also need a white lady in this movie. And I feel like that's the only reason she was in there, because it just, I have no idea why she was doing what she was doing. Like that was not clear to me at all.
Did they reference Jean, like his, you know? Like
yes, Jean is in the movie, but she's in flashbacks, or not in flashbacks, but like him, like his dreams, basically.
Okay.
Which so he keeps having like the same kind of dream over and over, and it's his guilt because he killed her at the end of X. That's another thing. This movie takes place after X-Men 3. So just so you know,
well, I can see what that would bother him, because you know she said save me, you know, so he had to kill like the woman he loves. So that was sad.
Right. Yeah. So that's, I mean, she is in the movie, but it's just in those dream sequences. Okay. But yeah, that other woman though, Viper, I don't know. Wasn't feeling that storyline at all. But let's see. Let's get some good stuff in here too. The one girl, the one with the red hair in the commercials, she's pretty cool. I liked her. The other lead female character, I don't know the actress's name, but her name was Mariko in the movie. She was super dull. Like there was no presence there at all. And like, you know, I'm not going to blame the actress, because it was probably the storyline. But yeah, I didn't care about her at all. And oh my God, this was so annoying. And this is like one of those like action movie things that annoy me. But she did this twice. Okay, you know how like in a movie where you've got a bunch of thug guys, and then you got the one good guy chasing after them. And however, you know, for whatever reason, the thug guys get a hold of the damsel in distress of the movie. And then they grab her, and then there's a long chase sequence on foot. Yeah, that happens in a lot of action movies. Why does the woman always run with the thug guys? Like, and they're just like holding her by the arm or something, and they're just running.
Yeah, I would be like, I'm going to be dead weight. You're going to drag me.
Thank you. Yes, that makes perfect sense. I don't know why this is never ever addressed in any movie. It pisses me off. But she did this twice in the movie, and like, and the second time it was just two guys that were holding her. It wasn't even like a whole crowd of guys.
So she wasn't fighting them or anything.
No, she was just like, oh, Logan, help, and like, you know. I'm like, really? You could put up a little, like, I know she was like super skinny, so they probably could have just picked her up and carried her off, but do something, you know, come on.
That, you just made me think of, I think you said you haven't seen the first one, but on the first Naked Gun, at the end, like, Priscilla Presley is being, like, taken up the stadium, like, up the stairs, and, she's like, Frank, and he looks over, and they had a doll instead of her, and he's, like, throwing the doll around, she's going, Frank, and she's, like, trying to fight. It's so funny.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, just watch any action movie. That's how the woman gets taken away. But yeah, dead weight. I'm totally going to be dead weight if I'm getting carted off, because obviously they're not going to kill you because they need you as a hostage or whatever. So come on.
Well, you know, in Robin Hood, the Kevin Costner one, when Alan Rickman is dragging Marion like up the stairs and stuff, she's fighting him the whole time.
Yeah,
with that, so she's not like running with him. She's like, Robin.
Yeah.
So there's one.
Super annoying. Yeah, okay, there's one. But most of the time.
But that's not a crazy action movie. That's like a drama with some action in it. So.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying action movies because those generally have those sequences in them.
Me wrong. Like, oh yeah?
Well. No, but really, that just stood out because it was really stupid. There was and I think you see it in the trailers, but there's a fight sequence on top of this bullet train. So that was kind of cool looking because they're going so fast and stuff, and he's using his claws to like hold onto the train and stuff like that, and they have to keep jumping up or ducking because they're going past like billboards and all that kind of stuff. So that scene was cool, and most of the fight sequences I thought looked really cool. They were interesting. But yeah, just on the whole, the movie was exactly what I said. That's how I felt about the movie. The third act, there's a lot of problems with it, and I don't hate the movie, but I'm glad I did not pay for it because no. And unless you're like a super crazy hardcore Hugh Jackman or Wolverine fan, you can wait. It's not gonna hurt you. I mean, like, honestly, the only part I was psyched about was you knew there was gonna be a scene like after the credits.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we need to stay because I need to see this scene because that's gonna be cool. And it was really cool. Like, it was people were clapping and stuff.
Well, tell me.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure. But it's I think it's set 2 years later, and Wolverine is, I think, at the airport or the bus station or something. And then all of a sudden, all the metal in the room starts, shaking and stuff, Magneto. And he gets stuck, and he turns around, and it's Magneto behind him. Old Magneto.
I love Magneto, yeah.
Yeah. Gandalf's behind him. But anyway, he's like, oh, Logan, we need your help. There's forces, or there's like a storm coming or something, and we need to work together. And Wolverine's like, oh, well, why would I want to work with you? And that kind of thing. And then everybody that's all around them all freezes. And then you're like, oh, I know what's coming now. And then, Professor X comes wheeling around the corner.
And he's alive.
Yeah, he's alive, and he looks like Patrick Stewart. And he's like, he's telling the truth. We all got to work together here. And like that was the basic gist of it. I'm that's not exact dialogue, but that's the gist of it. So when Professor X came wheeling around, everybody started clapping and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God.
Well, I remember that's what I loved about the end of the third movie where Magneto's like in an old person home and he waves his hand in the chess piece, slightly moves.
Yeah, it shakes a little. Back. Yeah. I don't hate X-Men 3 or is it just called X-Men 3? Yeah. The Last Stand. Yeah, that's it. I didn't hate that movie as much as everybody else seems to. I do see like a little drop in quality, but I didn't hate that movie.
No, I don't have a problem with any of the X-Men movies, really.
Yeah. So this set up for the next movie, which I'm really psyched about that movie. I know I shouldn't be, but yeah, I'm really psyched. I think that's coming out sometime next year.
It's kind of weird how they're like working on the sequels, but then they're also working on the prequels, the Days of Future Past and stuff. Like overlapping.
That's the next movie. So I'm curious to see how that's all gonna work out. I mean, I don't know if there's gonna be time travel or it's just chronologically you're gonna go back and forth in the movie.
Oh, so they're combining together. So the next movie, like We Need Your Help, is also Days of Future Past, or what?
Yeah. That's why I'm so psyched about the movie because it's got the old cast and it's got the new cast.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I thought they were doing two separate movies. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really excited.
That will be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess I should have known that from the movie poster, how they had the you posted, how they had both their faces on there and stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. What would you, this is totally out of whatever, but what would you, if you had to rank the X-Men movies, with the exception of this one, the Wolverine, how would you rank them? Like your favorite to least favorite?
I'd have to remember them. I still think I like the first one the most because I like the whole sequence where Rogue meets Wolverine and stuff, and she like hitches a ride with him
at the bar
and all this stuff.
Yeah.
To save her, and they introduce Magneto and everything because they have the cage scene at the beginning where he's trying to escape. But I mean, are we including the prequels too?
Oh yeah. And Origins
I really
too.
like the
First Class.
Prequel.
First Class is my favorite of the X-Men movies.
I'm going with that one or the first X-Men movie are like my top ones. And then it probably goes 2 and 3.
Yeah, mine I would go with First Class being my favorite because I can actually I'll rewatch that movie if it's on TV. So I'd go with that one. Then just the X-Men movie would be second. Well, no, actually maybe X2, the sequel. That would probably be my second. And then the first X-Men movie. And then The Last Stand. And, I haven't seen the Origins movie in a while.
Is that the one with his brother or something?
Yeah.
I saw it a long time ago, and I wasn't impressed by it.
No, really. I didn't like that movie either. But I'm trying to figure out if I like that one more than I like this Wolverine movie.
It's just confusing because in Origins, he has, like, a wife and stuff that he loses, as I recall, or he thinks he loses, but then he does lose her. I don't remember. But, like, had a wife and stuff. So, like, okay, yeah, they're in the Jean, and they have, you said, kind of a love interest in the Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just confusing me.
Yeah, I don't, I'll have to see Origins again, because I don't really remember it. But I remember not really being impressed by it. So, at least for the other movies, that's my ranking. But, yeah, I mean, this movie, go for the last scene. And no, it's not that bad. But wasn't great. So yeah, those are all the new movies, right?
Movies, yeah.
All right.
Well, actually, I mean, I saw Burt Wonderstone. That's technically a new movie, but that's just a movie I happened to see.
Oh, right.
Week,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, because the only other movie I saw this week was the Clearing the Queue movie. So if you saw other ones, you can go ahead and talk about those.
Yeah, I just saw The Incredible Burt Wonderstone because I was bored. I was like, let me go to Redbox.
See, yeah, I was interested because, I mean, the premise of that movie sounds pretty funny. So what did you think?
It was just meh. You know, it had some funny jokes here and there, but I put down, "'Tis no Anchorman."
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, what can be anywhere near Anchorman?
I mean, they had some tongue-in-cheek stuff, like Jim Carrey's character, his show is called Brain Rapist, which kind of makes fun of Chris Angel's Mind Freak.
Right.
So, and they're kind of, like, making fun of that, how Chris Angel does all these crazy stunts and stuff. Well, that's not really magic, you know? So there's one scene where, because he and... the other guy that's in it, what's his name? The guy
Steve
with
Carell?
No, Steve Buscemi.
Oh, uh-huh.
And they like break up, you know, and they're not friends for a long time. They finally they meet at a restaurant, and Steve Carell's character has finally realized, you know, how much his friendship means to him, and he's like, a hot box, because they did like a hot box thing where they're up in the sky. The other guy's like, and then he does it again, and then Steve Buscemi's like, what?
Oh, so you can't understand him at all.
Yeah, and it's just funny because it reminded me of Bruce Almighty when he's like, blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah.
But that also, they did that same joke on Friends when Monica and Rachel were Rachel had to move out, and Rachel's like, and then Monica's like, what? So that I actually cracked up at, but it didn't have that many I didn't really laugh out loud, kind of like we're talking about with the to-do list.
Yeah.
James Gandolfini was in it.
Oh, really?
He played the owner of the club, and he had a funny a reoccurring joke where he has a kid that really loves a magician, and he's like, yeah, my kid's turning whatever, he can never remember how old his kid is.
Oh, okay.
He's saying on his whatever birthday he wants to see you.
Oh, wow.
So laughed at that a little bit, but it's not the worst movie, but it wasn't I was hoping it'd be a lot more funny.
Yeah. So it's definitely.
Well, you can rent it and watch it. Maybe if you're drinking, it would probably be funnier.
Yeah.
Because they have the abracadabra. They come out and they're dancing and stuff. It's just oh my god.
Well, I remember seeing the posters and stuff, and I'm like, wow, their makeup is hilarious.
Yeah.
So okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, that seems to be the general consensus on that movie, was that it was
it was meh.
Yeah, that's it's just sound effects.
Meh.
So, okay, so then that was the only other extra movie you saw.
And then we have our to-do watch list.
Yeah, it's Clearing the Queue movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go with mine because mine's totally different from Burt Wonderstone. My movie was Gangs of New York. And, yeah, man, I don't know why I keep picking these long-ass movies lately. I like the movie. It was pretty interesting. I think this was the first of the DiCaprio-Scorsese pair-ups, because, they've been, having a string of movies where they're, he's directed and he's starring in it. I didn't see Shutter Island or all of The Aviator, though, so I can't say. I saw The Departed, which I really like that movie.
Shutter Island is good.
Yeah. I already know, the twist of the movie or whatever. But
you kind of guessed that halfway through it,
okay,
though.
That's what I was thinking.
But it's still good. It has, some... it's not, scary. It just has, some interesting dramatic scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see it at some point.
And I like Mark Ruffalo in it, too. So
yes, yeah. And then that new Wolf of Wall Street movie, I want to see that. I think it looks interesting.
I mean, yeah, it looks interesting, but it looks like it could be kind of boring too, because I've never cared about Wall Street stuff. So, but if they get into that Wall Street stuff, I'm like,
I like. It depends. It depends on the movie for me. I like the time period it's set in too. So I think that's another reason why I'm interested, and because those two are involved in it. So we shall see. But yeah, this movie was good. It was a little long. There were parts that I felt like could have been trimmed or cut out altogether, and it still would have been a good movie. Everybody acted pretty well. What's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis playing Bill the Butcher was good. His eye, though, he has one fake eye in the movie, and I don't know why, but it really grossed me out for some reason. I'm usually not like that, but it just...
Was it like Mad Eye Moody?
No. Speaking of Mad Eye Moody, he was in this movie.
Oh, really?
Brendan Gleeson was in this movie. Yeah, he's in like every movie I've been watching lately from my queue. So that's it's my reoccurring theme. It's like, does it have Brendan Gleeson in it? Well, then I don't want to watch it. No, but Daniel Day-Lewis was really good in it. Leonardo DiCaprio was good. His accent sometimes got a little like, oh, where's your accent here?
What accent was he supposed to have?
It was like kind of like a faint Irish accent, but it just, I don't know, felt a little half-assed. But whatever, he's still great. There were, I really liked the scenes. There was like the opening scene is like a battle in the streets. And then there's also a scene where it's more towards the end of the movie, but they're all getting ready for battle, and it's intercut between scenes of the riots going on in the streets and stuff. I thought those two scenes were really good. And I mean, the story itself, I like the story. And at the very, very end of the movie, it shows these two graves, and it shows like just the graves and then the whole cityscape behind them. And then they do kind of like a transition through different time periods of New York City. And it ends, with not the most current, but a more current picture of the New York City skyline. It's got the Twin Towers and stuff in it, but it's just interesting to see because it's this spot right here, and then you see how the city grows, over the years and stuff. So I like that they ended on that. I thought that was interesting. I do think Cameron Diaz was miscast in the movie. She wasn't like god awful, but they definitely could have. I feel like they told the director like, you have to have a bankable female character in the movie. Because I can think of like a million other actresses that could have played that role better. But, I mean, yeah, whatever. One thing that I just kind of stuck out to me was Leonardo DiCaprio's character. He gets stabbed by Daniel Day-Lewis's character in the stomach. Now, Daniel Day-Lewis's character is a butcher, so he does know what like a kill shot would be. So there is that. But he gets stabbed, and he lives, but he gets stabbed in the gut. So I feel like he would need medical attention really fast. That would kill you really
quickly, especially if they nick your intestines and if you have the bowels going. Yeah.
And also, I feel like even if he didn't like bleed out from it, I feel like back then, like infection levels must have been crazy.
Yeah.
So there was that. And like time does go by. It's not like the next day he's running around or anything, but time does go by. But I thought that was a pretty big wound to recover from. And then also Bill the Butcher takes a red hot iron and sticks it on Leonardo DiCaprio's face and burns him. And that too, I'm like, he would have a scar for a while from that, like a mark from it. And it doesn't really. Like later on, I think it's like a couple months later or something, but it would
still
like
be like
nothing
pink
there.
And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It would still, because I mean, when you burn yourself and it's like those are like little stupid burns, like from a curling iron, and there's still like a little mark there for a while.
And you'll have like, he wouldn't be able to grow hair there. You would have like a shiny, smooth, shiny skin where it was.
Well, he does have facial hair in the movie, but I think it's just around his like chin.
Okay.
So that was okay, but yeah, there was like no mark there. So those are two little
magically
things.
Healed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's Mr. DiCaprio. He's so awesome that
he must
he
be
can
related
make through
to the Fast and Furious crew because they just seem to have no marks at all.
Yeah, or he was he's related to Wolverine.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, but in general, I liked the movie. It was a little long, but I was interested, and it was a slight bit predictable, but it was good. I liked it. So and I'm glad I finally saw it. It's been like 10 years, but I finally saw it. So yay.
I'm going to use that same line. I'm so glad I finally saw my movie, which was Bridget Jones' Diary.
Yay, I love that movie.
I kept posting about it too, like, how have I never seen this movie?
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
I almost fell out of my chair when you first told me that.
I would have laughed if you did.
Yeah.
I put down it's a great script and a great like delivery of lines by all the actors. Just like the quips and the jokes, but especially Renee Zellweger, like the way she delivers her lines. It would just make me laugh. I love that it alluded to Pride and Prejudice plot, like similar characters even kept the same name, Mr. Darcy. And I especially think it's hilarious that Colin Firth played in Pride and Prejudice as Mr. Darcy in the 1995 BBC series, and now he plays Mr. Darcy in this newer one. I was like, he just plays a good Mr. Darcy.
He is Mr. Darcy.
So, I love... Like, I haven't, like, hopped on the Colin Firth train or anything, but I do like his eloquent speech, especially compared to Hugh Grant's, like, bumbling speech. I mean, I did tell you when I came in, like, I thought Hugh Grant did have some sex appeal. I could see how she was attracted to him, but I put down, like, he's actually one English guy that I don't like. I don't think is sexy. So.
Yeah, I'm not actually attracted to either of those guys. Yeah. I can see where people would be, I guess, but me personally, no.
No, I'm not, like, crazy about Colin Firth, but he does have some sex appeal. Like he has a nice voice and he has like some dark looks, you know. He's cute. So, but I really am looking forward to the sequel too. I looked up the sequel and not the sequel, the preview. There we go.
Oh, okay.
For it, and I was like, oh, this looks cute because she's like, I don't want you to see my
wobbly bits.
Wobbly bits. Yeah. I happen to like your wobbly bits. She's like, like throws it. This looks so cute. So I love those types of movies, you know, or it's just a cute romantic comedy.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't love the sequel as much as the first one, but I still really like it, and I think you'll like it. But yeah, I love the first one. I think it's a great movie. Yeah, she's hilarious in there.
It's just so funny how she overhears him saying all this stuff about her. That's the exact same thing that happens in Pride and Prejudice, where, you know, he says, well, she's not that great looking. She's not enough to tempt me, you know. He's talking about Elizabeth. And so when she overhears him and she starts to not like him.
Oh, is that in the beginning of the movie?
In Pride and Prejudice, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, in the beginning of...
Oh, yeah. At the party where the mom's trying to, like, mash them up and stuff. Yeah. He's like, oh, he dresses like her mother and blah, blah, and can't speak.
like a chimney. Yeah. And she's like, oh, yay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she just cracked me up when she couldn't remember the one guy, the tits
pervert.
Tits pervert, and she kept like, you hear her whispering in her head, and she's like, it's like tits pervert. I was laughing.
Yeah, she's really bad at like public speaking and stuff.
Yeah. And what was weird though is that everyone's like, oh, you know, and she's heavy in this movie. Like, I didn't think she was heavy. I thought she looked good in this movie. Like, I've seen Renee Zellweger really skinny. Like, I think it was in Chicago. She's really skinny. I was like, I think she looks good in this movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's like a really petite person, and normally, yes, she is. I guess she works out a lot or something, but she's really skinny and scrawny looking. And this movie, she actually had curves and stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. But, you know, that's that whole thing. You know how all that crap goes. But, yeah. I agree. So, I remember her saying that she loved her diet for this movie because she was able to eat like donuts and all that kind of stuff. I love when she's on the treadmill and she's going like, or no, not the treadmill, the bike, and she's going hardcore, and then she goes to get off and she like falls down. Yeah. It's like,
who hasn't done that? I've gotten wobbly afterwards. Like, whoa.
Exactly. And she's like, if I don't do something with my life drastically, I was gonna die and be found by ravenous dogs or something. Yeah, I love that movie.
And I especially love because I totally fell for it at the end when he reads her diary and he's like, well, and he like leaves and she's saying, like, oh no, it's ruined. He's like, oh, I was just buying you a new diary.
Yeah, I thought that was cute.
I fell for that, so that was cute. And she's like, oh, I gotta get the fancy pansies or whatever she said.
Oh, wait. The scene, it's her birthday dinner and she's all happy and she invites her friends over and she's like, oh, I might be an excellent chef in the kitchen, and she tries to make this dinner and it's horrible.
It's a blue soup and stuff.
Yeah, and her friend like eats it and he's like, oh, excellent. I watch that movie now.
Yeah, like I feel like I want to watch it again, honestly, and like feel like there's a lot of stuff I probably didn't catch.
Yeah, it could be. I love that movie. I quote it a lot and stuff, and I do relate to her quite a bit. So I love that movie. It's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yay. So jinx.
No, are we going to pick out our next week's right now?
I guess we should, okay. Yeah. So now, which one did you want to watch?
I'll go with Hellboy 2 because I watched Hellboy and then Bridget Jones, and I'll watch Hellboy 2 and then Bridget Jones 2, basically.
Okay. Well, that I do own, so I'll give that to you later. See, I'm trying to figure out what I should watch because, well, see, there's a movie that I have on my DVR. There's still one more movie I have on my DVR that I want to get rid of. It's this movie called The Eagle. But I feel like I'll be able to watch that and probably watch something else at some point. So, do you have like a lighter movie on your, like, because I mean, like The Eagle's like super serious. And then like to watch Dances with Wolves too. It's
that's a serious movie. Yeah. I'd have to think about it and see what your list is. Like, oh, you need to see this.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have like a comedy or like just a lighter movie, maybe I'll watch that along with The Eagle.
Have you ever seen the movie, this is not a lighter comedy, but just made me think about it, The Watcher in the Woods?
No.
It's an older, like, I think it was done by Disney, but it's actually kind of a spooky movie, but it's done in, like, the 70s.
Oh, no.
You may like that movie. It's about, like, an entity from another dimension and stuff.
Oh, really?
And it has some, like, I remember watching it in, like, middle school or something like that.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think you should see that. Like, you should look it up, see if you can find that.
Okay, I'll have to write that down then. Is it an animated movie?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a regular people movie.
Live action.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll just tell you what I'm gonna watch on Twitter or Facebook or whatever.
Another movie, I know these are just flying to my head. Have you ever seen? It's another Disney one, but it's a live action. It's called Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken.
Yes, I have with Sonora.
I love that movie. Okay,
that's got Jake Ryan in it.
Of course, make sure you've seen that because I love that movie. Like it's sad, but I love that movie.
Have you seen 16 Candles?
No, I have not.
Get out. Shut the door behind you.
Well, for the longest time, I hadn't seen Pretty in Pink, and actually Rob made me watch that.
Oh, well, so. I hadn't seen that one either, but you need to see. Oh, okay. Goodness, girl. You're killing me.
Well, sorry, I'm seeing the
Hellboy.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'll give you 16 Candles. Just
I can try to watch both.
Yeah, it's a John Hughes movie. It's the 80s. It's Molly Ringwald, and like I said, it's got Jake Ryan in it. Oh my God, you got to watch that.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we figured out Vanessa's list. But so and if you would like to figure out or find out what my movie is, you can find us on Twitter or Facebook. Just look for Damsels in Debate. Let's see, we are also on iTunes. Same thing, Damsels in Debate. You can go to our website and stream these episodes right from there. And that's just damselsindebate.com. And we are also on Stitcher, which is I don't know how new it is, but it's a free app. You can get it for your Android phone or your iPhone or whatever, But it's great. It's got a lot of podcasts on it. It's like the podcast app for Apple, but it's you can use it wherever. And it's really good. And we're on there now finally, too. Just look for Damsels in Debate.
Great.
Is that everything? I think that's everything. Yeah. Oh shit! No, it's not. We didn't do True Blood or Game of Thrones.
I thought you meant is that it for our locations for our games.
No, because I always do that.
I definitely have my notes here for True Blood and Game of Thrones. All right.
And I was kind of jumping the gun there, so go ahead and lead us off in the whole TV section.
All right, so we'll start with what, True Blood?
Yes.
Okay. First note is like, so Bill does still care about Sookie. I was like, and so he actually allowed Warlow to go save her, so he must still care about her, even though he said, "You're dead to me, Sookie, stack out."
Yeah, take my jack to go home.
I thought she only had like the fairy realm, which the time would go a lot quicker. So I'm like, where are they at? I don't remember the secret place that she took him to.
Oh, I thought they were one and the same.
Yeah, well, if they're in the fairy realm, it's going to be like 2 years later when they go back.
Oh, that would be weird if they came back and they did a time jump like in the middle of the season. Yeah. This is really weird.
I don't remember. She's like, I know a secret place. I'm like, where are they at? The fairy realm or okay?
The fifth dimension.
Plus, I thought they had sealed it off anyway.
Yeah.
So she's somewhere else.
They just wanted an excuse for her and Warlow to get down.
Yeah.
I put
down. I was like, that's a little kinky because she had him tied and stuff, and she's just like undressing in front of him and stuff. I was like, okay, kinky.
They gotta change it up a little.
Yeah, I put down like I'm okay with this romance, like what they have going on, but I just feel like he's gonna betray her somehow.
I kind of hope so, but I don't know. I'm just gonna see where it goes. I don't. I got nothing.
Yeah, I was just like, meh. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Whatever.
I put down, yay, kill Nora.
Yeah, although. She's probably gonna still survive.
Well, that was confused about with the Hep V. Like it was interesting because it was introduced in the first season, and we kind of just forgot about it.
I totally forgot about it.
Does it kill them or does it just weaken them?
I thought it like messed him up, but isn't this like a new like concentrated form?
Maybe
or something?
That's what it is. Yeah, and they said you're our first test or something like that.
Right, I think that's what it is.
So, because I remember in the books, it just weakened them. It's just they weren't as strong and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it. like, I don't remember them saying that it killed them in the first season, but it jacked them up a little bit.
There's some endings that I'm just not sure about where they're going to go. Like, what's going to come out of Willa's character now that the wolf thing is resolved because he gave her back. Like, where's this story going? Because now, like,
who
Sam,
the hell
you can't
knows?
step foot in Bon Tom, so Sam has to leave.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Like, no, out of the two, I'd rather keep Sam and Alcide can leave.
This is kind of at a dead end. I was like, okay, where's this going to go?
I have no idea.
Yeah. And then I thought it was sad how they ended Terry. I mean, yeah, that storyline was kind of blah, but I thought it was sad that everything had worked out, but he didn't remember that he had asked his friend to kill him. So
and, yeah, exactly. And like, I knew he was gonna die because when they wiped his wiped his brain.
Yeah, same thing.
I'm like, oh, he's gonna get killed now.
Yeah,
but also I kind of liked having him and Arlene as side characters, kind of almost like a little bit lower down the pole than Lafayette. You know, they don't need like their own storyline, but we need just plain humans as background characters that come in and help out and have like a little bit of history with the other characters, I think. So in that respect, I mean, yeah, I was sad because he's like a nice character and him and Arlene have the family and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh man, it's like all supernatural characters now. Let's keep a couple humans in here because you need both perspectives.
Yeah.
So
what I'm curious about is that in the books, Arlene, I mean, this whole thing didn't happen with Terry, but she goes bad. Like, she joins the church, the Fellowship of the Sun, and she ends up like trying to get Sookie. She tries to lure Sookie to her place where they can kill her and stuff. So I don't know if this grief from losing Terry may make her like turn bad or something.
It could,
but she hasn't been interacting with Sookie, or unless she thinks vampires killed him or shot him. But it was daytime, so I don't think I know that route.
And then also, like, does she have the 3 kids in the book?
She has children.
Oh, okay.
Not the baby, but she has the 2 kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
See how that goes.
But then I feel like it's like that. Then again, too, then you're going to be left with one human who's going to be against all supernatural characters. It's like okay, can we just get So I don't know. I don't really know if I like that storyline.
And then I'm also not sure how I feel about Bill killing the governor. I was like, oh well, that was abrupt. Like, okay,
I didn't I didn't expect that to happen. No.
I mean, from the preview for the next episode, it looks like what's her name? That blonde chick is like going to be the badass now. Like the wife of the
Steve Newland. What's his wife's name? Tracy?
No, she looks like a Tracy.
I know her. The actress's name is Anna Camp. I don't remember what her name is on the show.
Crap. Sarah?
Yeah,
Sarah.
Sarah.
There we go. So I guess she's going to be the new, like, the head bitch or whatever.
Yeah. Sounds like it, or it looks like it.
Like, we'll see where that goes, I guess. Because I really don't like her, so I guess that's a good choice. I'm like, man, I hate this girl. Like, just the total epitome of, like, what you shouldn't be if you're like, oh, I'm a Christian.
Oh, yeah. She plays the role really well.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm still into it, so I'm excited to see next episode.
Yeah. I think we're now on the second half now. We've gone past the halfway point, so we'll see how everything ties up. It's miles ahead of last season, for sure. It's not the best season, but it's good. I'm interested again, so yay.
I was trying to think, because they had that sex scene at the end with Sookie. Like, is that the first sex scene of the series? Like, I don't remember any other...
Oh, well, Alcide had his little, like, threesome or whatever.
They didn't really show... Well, I guess, yeah. I don't know if they really showed that. I was just thinking how interesting it is that they're kind of keeping it out of it in a way until now. Yeah, looking back and thinking about it, like, oh, no, well, what's his face with Warlow with... remember the odd sex scene that we were like making fun of last week?
Yeah, with Lilith.
With Lilith. Yeah, so I guess that didn't really stay in my mind anyway. Because I was like, okay, that was weird.
It did for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. So True Blood's going good.
Yeah. So that's the progress report on True Blood. I don't have anything else to add. Still plugging away at Breaking Bad and anyway, let's get on to your show.
All right, Game of Thrones. Woo! I actually watched. I was able to watch two more episodes. So now my next episode will be episode 4. So I've watched 1, 2, and 3.
Doing good.
I know I was texting you some of this, but I'm gonna mention it now. But like, I'm glad the kid isn't dead, but I'm furious at the wolf death. And I remember you like laughing because I was saying like, if they kill these puppies, I'm turning it off.
I know.
And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to kill this wolf.
Because I know how you are with animals, and I remember that. And I'm like,
but I'm actually glad that they didn't show it. You know, you just heard the noise, and then you could see how bent out of shape he was having to do it. So
yeah, it was very sad.
Yeah, it was very sad. So I'm glad it wasn't just like, slice. You know.
Slice.
The kid, like, and so I'd ask you this too, like, the kid opens his eyes right when the wolf gets killed, so I'm like, oh, so is there like a wolf spirit inside of him? I mean, but this was a female wolf. It was Lady or whatever she named her.
That's right.
So,
that was Sansa's wolf, right? The redhead daughter. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay, so there's something. But so he is, what, is he paralyzed? He can't walk or something?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, okay. One thing I really noticed was like Joffrey, like what a little twerp that kid is. Oh, I hate Joffrey. But when he comes in and he sees the girl like sword fighting with the butcher's son and stuff, he reminds me of Draco Malfoy.
Yeah,
from Harry Potter. So bad. I mean, just like when Tyrion, whatever the dwarf guy, he like had slapped him saying like whatever, and he's like, my mother will hear of this. It's just like Draco, God, like my father will hear of this.
He's such a little snot.
Yeah, he's a snob. He he bullies the butcher's son, just like he's trying to bully Ron, you know, the Weasleys. And actually, that kid was a ginger too.
Poor gingers.
It's always the gingers that get picked on.
Yeah.
It was also kind of interesting being at Harry Potter. They also have birds carry their messages, just like in Harry Potter. So I'm like, we got some.
Well. I mean, but they did that back in the day, though.
I guess. I'm like, Harry Potter.
I still don't totally understand how that works.
Yeah, like how do they know where to fly? All right, whatever.
It's like, I got this note on this bird, and I don't know who it's to.
I'm not really into the whole the kid, the bastard being on the wall thing. I'm like, okay, yeah,
Jon
he's on
Snow.
the wall. Yeah, like, but if it gets interesting, like if he starts seeing these creatures that they're talking about, then I'd be more into that.
What are they called again?
The White Walkers.
That's it, yeah.
And so I thought it was interesting how I didn't realize that their seasons they fluctuate. So they have like a 9-year-long winter or something like that.
Right. It's like winter's coming. Different. Oh, big deal. But
I'm thinking it's just like a regular winter. So I'm like, oh, now it really is a big deal.
Now it makes sense.
So that makes sense. My favorite story is Colin Daenerys. I told you how I was like, man, that scene where she like, you know, because she was learning how to seduce him, and then she like speaks to him saying like, I would look into your face, and I was like fanning myself. I was like, whew, this is a good.
Gonna crack a window.
Yeah, I'm like this is a good what's the word? Chemistry.
Right, yeah.
I definitely love in the next episode, because that was episode 2 that they did that. Next episode, she the brother comes out, how dare you order us to stop, and everyone's like respecting her over the brother, and he's like, and he's the one who like married her off to get his kingdom, whereas she may get the kingdom. Is what I'm thinking.
He didn't see that power switch coming. So
she's
really
becoming more powerful because of this. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I hate her brother.
Power. Yeah.
Good for her.
It was so funny how the guy's like, no, you walk, and he's like. Just that look of indignation. It's so funny.
How dare you?
Yeah. But now that she's knocked up and they're all happy, he like smiled because she's like, it's a boy. I'm like, oh, something's going to happen. So I put down like, was the brother do something to her? Like push her down a flight of stairs?
Yeah, trouble in paradise.
So, but that's still the story. Like, because for the longest time, they didn't go over to that story. I was like, come on, where's Colin? I kept talking about, like, especially when, actually I was watching it, I think, and you were like, you were here with me and I was watching it. And I was like, this is boring. Like when, when Ned goes to like meet with the crowd, the group of people that talk about laws or something. I was like, this is boring.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I'm like, come on.
I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm interested in the whole storyline. So I guess the brother of Cersei, he killed the previous king. And
Jaime,
like, betrayed him. Yeah. And so, but
they call him the Kingslayer.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out what happened with Ned's sister and stuff like that. So what did that king that he kill the sister? Because something about like, what did he say? Like, what did the king say when you stabbed him in the back? Well, he said what he had always been saying, to like let them burn or something like that.
Oh, now see, okay, what's the king's name? Robert Baratheon, right? I think. Yeah, he was in love with Ned's sister, right? Like back in the day when they were younger or something, and then she died, or
that's one thing.
So like, I don't remember exactly.
It sounded like that the previous king like had them burnt alive or something, like had them burned at the stake. So it said some let them burn.
Oh, see, okay, I don't totally remember, so I'm not gonna
so I'm
try to
interested
answer
in like
your
where
question.
that's going. So like, okay, this is backstory because like that whole thing between Jamie and Ned.
Yeah.
With like, oh, he said the same thing, like watch them burn, and you see Ned was getting mad, like getting upset. So
yeah.
So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Good,
I told you like tomorrow I don't really have any other plans, you know, so I'm probably gonna have a Game of Thrones day.
Yay!
Catch up. Like, Tina, I finished up the whole season.
Like, oh.
So yeah, I'm definitely into it. Like I said, you know, beforehand, like I really like period pieces and stuff. So
yeah.
I think that's why I haven't gotten into Breaking Bad. Like it didn't have any of this pull. I like the supernatural aspect and stuff. You know, where they can, you know, because it's a different universe that we don't know of, these lands and stuff, they can do whatever they want with these White Walkers and the different seasons and stuff. So it makes it interesting.
I remember for a lot of the first season, I was like, okay, there's stuff. There's other stuff besides humans running around here. I need to see it.
Yeah. You saw a glimpse of it in the first one. I remember like the creepy little girl, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, you do get like little glimpses, but there's not like full on stuff really. But it's coming. Just like winter.
I hate that they blame the thing that like, oh, this was Tyrion Lannister's sword or whatever, or knife.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh great, blame the one guy that's actually pretty good. Does he know about Cersei and Jaime? Because when he came to the table, it was like, oh, my beloved siblings, you know, and Jamie said something, and he's like, oh, I love you two, or something like that. Like, it seemed like he hinted that he kind of knew what was going on.
I can't say.
Okay. it seemed like he kind of knows, but he's just like, oh, whatever, you know?
Yeah, he's kind of like doing his own thing.
Yeah.
I like him. All right, well, good. Glad you're enjoying that then. So now we're at the end, right? Now that is at the end of the podcast. I think before I forgot to mention that you can also email us. Our email address is damselsindebate@gmail.com. And, you know, we appreciate any kind of feedback. It's always awesome.
Like, yeah, correct any mistakes we may have said.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like if we're wrong with like some of the Wolverine stuff or whatever, like with your
I know I was wrong with some of the Wolverine
guy, whatever.
Stuff.
So
Yeah, and we'll give you a shout out on air,
live on air.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll figure out what I'm going to watch next week and put it online so you guys can find out too.
Watch Her in the Woods.
No, I want a lighthearted movie. Yeah. It's like all this serious stuff.
No, okay, I'll think of something for you.
All right, so that's it. All right, well that's it. Hope everybody has a great week, and we will hear you or whatever. Well, next time. Until next time.
Until next time.